Hey guys, welcome to episode 277 of Four Player Animecast. We are in the throes of summer. I'm pretty sure, I think 80 to 100% of people on this globe now have been caught under some sort of heat wave or heat dome. And that's real cool. I love melting in my leather seat when I get into the driver's seat in the morning. That's really nice. But anyways, I am your host, Spire, and with me are my compatriots. 3 weeks late. We had to delay this second episode a little bit because of some real life stuff. But here are my compatriots at long last year.
Yo.
Dark.
Hello.
And Toast is not with us right now. He is a little AWOL. But anyways, we will get right on it. Let's go over 3 weeks, I think. Starting with Nier.
I've been playing Shadowverse.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shadowverse 2. Is it still
Shadowverse
good? It's
2.
like obviously that's like scandal happened or whatever, right? But it's like other than that.
I mean, I think the game is pretty good in terms of gameplay and like card interaction. I kind of like where it's at right now.
Hmm.
A lot of people are calling it removal verse because like it's like literally impossible to have a board stay longer than it like one turn. And if a board does stay longer than one turn, it kind of just like dies. But yeah, other than that, I mean, Shadowverse 2 is pretty good. Other than that, keeping up with some stuff, keeping up with Ruri Rocks. It's been pretty good. Good. And then I actually haven't been. Um,
Kind of addicted to calling it Ruri Rocks, actually. Now that you mention
yeah,
it.
yeah. Ruri Rocks is kind of just like such a dog shit name that I kind of like.
Yeah,
Like
it goes
horseshoes
back all
around
the way
back
around to
to.
being okay.
Yeah, horseshoes back around to being good. I haven't actually been like checking out too much else this season. I've been meaning to, catch up on stuff like Sakamoto Days and Call of the Night and Done It On, but I kind of just like haven't gotten around to it. Just like how I haven't gotten around
Right,
to,
especially since there's been a season 2 of Call of the Night. Although
yeah,
you've already seen the ending of Yufukashi no Uta in the manga anyways, right? So you're just
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Just kind of along for the ride. But yeah. Other than that,
Yeah, I've seen how that ends. The sun, buddy.
yeah, true,
I
true.
think we have an even bigger tidal wave or even tsunami awaiting ahead of us because you guys know what's going on with what is it, Kanakaria or whatever, right? Rent a girlfriend.
Oh
Apparently,
God, yeah.
Oh
according to
yeah,
some
I don't know. I
people,
mean, I
uh,
don't know what's gonna happen with that. Like that's the crazy part is who knows what the hell they're gonna do anime
who knows?
wise?
Yeah,
Because it's just
exactly.
like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, do
I
you
mean,
go?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you keep
exactly.
going? Like, I
I
don't
think they're
Yeah,
probably. I feel like with a series like that, they're
kind of
probably
have to,
contracted
right?
to. Like it's probably in the contract to just like keep going. And it's like
yeah.
if it's not in the contract to keep going, they'll probably just keep going until they see like a genuine drop in viewership if there is one. Um, cause like I don't know. It is a good question as to whether like cause with that ending, like how many people are gonna stick with the anime, and how many people are like in the dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Because I know there was a lot of people that were straight up in the dark for something like Attack on Titan's ending, all the way until the anime got to it. So you had like two waves of people being like, "What the fuck?" So that'll be interesting for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, because it's like it's even more different than the Haganai situation, where Haganai kind of, if I remember correctly, the anime and like all kind of future seasons of hopes for it kind of ended way before
yeah, yeah,
um
yeah,
the light novel itself ended. And when the light novel itself ended, it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's over. What do you want? Kind of thing. The franchise is over.
yeah.
Fuck you, kind of thing. But this is completely different, where the franchise is not over. The franchise is still going pretty strong, actually, pretty strong. And the issue is obviously the author just exploded a huge bomb.
I mean,
So,
I feel like how really how could you have ended that series without it just being like
yeah, the premise itself
without it
is
just
just
being
so
like, oh,
bad.
oh yeah, they get together at the end. You know what I mean?
Or not even the premise, right? Because it's like the way the story flowed due to the author was
You mean the
really,
way
really, really
the
bad.
way it didn't flow at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The way it
exactly.
literally went nowhere for
It
like
went back. Yeah.
8,000 chapters, and then it was just like, okay, it's over. Go away.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
It's like the worst. You know how way back, I mean even now, but especially way back in the early 2000s, late 2000s, there was that like rash of series in Shoujo magazine where it was like it, it's like the whole like will they won't they, but then they extended it for like 40 chapters kind of thing,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep,
It's like the worst version of that. It's like
yeah,
they
pretty
added the will
much.
they won't they that everybody hates, and on top of that, they're like, actually, fuck you. The
Actually, they won't. Bye.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, man. All
Oh
right.
my god.
Yeah, that'll be a fun shit show. I mean, it's a shit show either way, right? If they finish it, it's a shit show. If they don't finish it, it's basically them admitting that like this shit is too radioactive to keep going, and then it's like at that point, it's almost like admitting defeat. You know what I mean? It's like, man, this shit sucks. But yeah, that'll be fun. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't watch that series, so
Yeah, I just know that it's like a shit show right now, and people. The funniest part again of it is people going, "Oh, it's like I can't believe that the author didn't like give us the proper ending. We deserve the good ending." It's like, first of
no,
all, you don't deserve
you
shit.
deserve
Yeah,
this. Actually, you deserved exactly
yeah,
this
yeah.
ending.
First of all, you don't deserve shit because there's no deserve or anything with what an author does. Second, you do deserve this because you believe in this stupid shit ass author
Yeah,
peddling his, Netorare fanfic for however long. You knew it was going to go south both A, when the premise was initially announced, at the beginning onset of the story, and B, when he did Will They Won't They for the 30th time, right? You already knew this was going to be bad. So, yes, you actually do deserve this.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, other than that, my my last few weeks have been pretty mellow.
hmm
Just
hmm
kind of keep it under the radar.
Yeah, okay. Pretty good. What about, thank you very much, Nier. What about you, Dark?
Um, yeah, I've been doing a bit of gaming. You know,
Just
playing
a
a lot
little
of
bit.
MMOs.
hmm
What is it? Yeah. I started. Obviously, I'm keeping up with like the usual gotcha shit. Not horses because I don't really care to spend that much time. Um,
Yeah. This horses takes a lot of
not
time.
enough. Too much time. Not enough game. Um,
Yeah, 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 exactly.
but yeah, especially when it's like I'm not super cool on like how many, like or not how many on a lot of the classes right now. Anyway, classes.
Mhm.
A lot of the fucking horses that are in right now. A lot of the characters, like
Yeah,
playable.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
really like super crazy over a ton of them, so I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I've been keeping up with P5X because that's been fun. Um, yeah, that game's kind of very good. That I've been slacking, but kind of trying to get back into Zenless Zone Zero. It just for some reason keeps asking me to type in my fucking password every time, and I have that in like a password manager, so it's really annoying. Um, and then other than that, I've been playing a lot of MMOs. Been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. Been playing a lot of playing a good bit of DC Universe Online for some reason. I don't know why. What made me really want to play it, but something did, and now I'm at endgame and healing endgame raids. So you know, finally endgame in that game again. I'm just gonna get endgame in like every MMO at this point that's been out, I guess.
All
But
right,
uh,
pretty
but yeah,
good.
so that's been pretty cool. As for anime, I've been keeping up with pretty much like everything we've been talking about. Well, I'm behind on like Uri Rocks. I've been keeping up with a lot of other stuff. Started and keeping up though. We're not covering it tonight. With the summer Hikaru died. So And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in agreement with you, Spire, that this season's definitely shaping up to be like pretty significantly better than I kind of thought it would
Yeah.
be.
It doesn't have like all the names that are like, whoa, yeah, obviously, like this has to be good kind of thing. But it's still like very solid, I think. More solid than we thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely very fun.
Hmm. Yeah. Pretty good.
So
Anything
yeah, yeah,
else?
looking forward. Not really, just kind of looking forward to the rest of the season. You know, a lot of the sequels have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Sure.
I think the thing that's just been like kind of sucked was that there was like a week where some shows just did not get an episode, and I would assume it's because of golf or something lining up. So it was like
Yeah,
Gachi Yakuta, and I forget what else got delayed like a week that I was watching. So
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it is a crazy season for for like OPEDs though. I will say that too. Even with the like,
Yeah,
especially with the
I
sequels,
noticed
there are
that.
some
I
really good
keep
Yeah.
saying it.
OPEDs.
I keep saying it. This is the year, or this is the season of just like. I feel like the EDs are kind of just clearing the OPs this season. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
really good.
there's so many good EDs.
All
I feel
right. Well,
like Dan to Dan's especially, like Dan to Dan's ED fucking mocked the OP right now. It's kind of
I'm
crazy.
gonna be honest with you. I have not kept up with End to End just yet, and I actually have not seen either yet.
The ED is really good. The OP is not bad, but
I mean, it's
what's her
gonna be
name?
hard to
Girl,
top season one. Like,
yeah, it's just that who does two? Oh yeah, I know the end. I feel like the song she made for the new OP.
that's a very
I mean,
weird
I feel like
choice.
she's got. I feel like she's got better tracks. That's the thing. Discog.
That's also
mhm.
I
This
feel like
one's
that's also a very odd choice for Don to Don.
yeah, but
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much, Dark. And I guess rounding up here will be me. Again, I've been up to too much the last couple of weeks, especially since the last couple of weeks has been spent by me trying to run around in real life. I got transitioned into a new job properly, and then doing all this stuff, which also, because I transferred into a new job so recently, it made me very
Oh, are
difficult. It
you
made
doing the new jobs numbers?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually the new manager. Charles gonna fire me in like 2 weeks, so don't worry about it. I need
up
to I
10
need to really
billion
start pushing
percent.
out my resumes.
We put up
Yeah.
10 billion% since
Fire's here
Yeah,
to announce that
since
we
last week,
have.
actually.
Yeah, last week they created 500,000 jobs. So
500 coal miners, 500,000 coal miners are working right now immediately. But yeah,
beautiful clean coal. First of all, stupid.
yeah, exactly.
You're already fired.
Yeah. But yeah, eh, I got into a new job recently, and that made it untenable for, or because it is like a slightly bigger job. Than it's not just like a kind of like whatever kind of job. It's like a slightly bigger job, so it made it a little bit more untenable for me to go to the Auto Hibana concert in Chicago, which is very unfortunate. And I also couldn't go to the Auto concert in Baltimore um, I that was the tickets came up before I knew I had my job or I knew I could get in my job. But
Nice.
anyways, so I got the worst of both worlds. I bought a ticket to Otto's concert in Chicago, but I could not go, and I was very sad. Toast, I believe, did go. But yeah,
Yeah, Toast went to
unfortunately,
the
I missed.
Chicago one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, Toast did go. And then I'm also kind of now in my anger, in my immediate rage, I am now essentially making a huge. I'm gonna make a huge wish list of Comkit merch that I want some of my friends to buy for the upcoming summer Comkit. So that'll be a thing. But other than that, not too much. I think pretty standard stuff. Um, I think obviously watching some of the stuff in the season, and then also uh, uh doing horse girls. A lot of fucking horse girls. a lot of fucking horse girls. Although I've, I don't know. It's like for me, I think the rhythm game gacha stuff, especially since it has the idols, but like the rhythm game stuff, and even to a certain extent, like Precona and Kirafan, like have some aspects where I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm pressing these buttons and I'm pressing these buttons good, and that means good things happen to me. But I'm really not used to this more. I mean, Uma Musume isn't that recent, but I'm relatively unused to this like wave of almost like cookie clicker like, hey, you press button good, that means you have to RNG more. It's like, god damn it, I don't want to do that. um and that that's like a very frustrating part, but I've gotten addicted to horse girls a little bit anyways, so a lot
I
of fucking horse
genuinely
girls.
like.
Yeah.
I generally don't get it. Like I generally do not get the. I feel like is it just like a numbers autism thing? Because I'm in another Discord where like
I
a
told no,
lot
I
of
told
people.
So some people do, I think, just like the horse girls, just like how, for like Love Live School Idol Festival or like Cinderella Girls, the two Cinderella Girls games, or the Million Theater or Million Live games or Shiny Master or whatever, right? Um, Part of that is like they like the cute idol girls, right? To the idol girls. There's that contingent, but I think the main contingent is what I told actually Ritsu, like one of the guys in the Discord, right? Where it's like it scratches for many people, I think, that sort of like Fire Emblem-ish itch of just like trying to make like a stupid min-max character and then seeing if it can run anyways. You know what I mean? It's like I think it scratches some of that itch for some people, and that's part of why it's like popular. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
to
again,
also like
me,
the auto
to
battler type shit too that people have been like kind of
yeah,
prone
there's
for
some
now.
some people are also like,
Like
oh,
the
I get to
semi
look at
like
cute
deck
girls while doing cookie
builder
clicker. Yeah, yeah,
auto
yeah, yeah,
battler. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
will the skills activate? Will I get alls?
I mean,
yeah.
to me, it just like the only thing I see from people when they're like playing this game is like frustration and rage from fucking
Yeah, yeah.
RNG and
Because
like,
of the RG, yeah,
cause like,
exactly. That's like,
cause
Oh
like
yeah, one of the reasons why
literally,
I stopped playing was because I got literally like 5 days in a row where Ogre
yeah,
Cap
it's
was
so
like
stupid.
slow metabolism and it was like go to the nurse, go to the
Yeah, hit
nurse, go
night
to the
owl
nurse,
like
go
three
to the
times in a
nurse, go
row.
to the
Yeah,
nurse. And I'm like,
exactly.
okay,
yeah,
well I guess my run's fucking bricked. Like I was
Yeah,
like, all right, I
yeah,
had to
and
go
then
to the nurse 5 times and I have one day to get like 10,000 fans. Like, okay, bye.
yeah, and then
yeah, yeah,
I'll
exactly.
see like people being like, oh, like I cleared this like career or whatever, and I got fucking a high rank and all this shit, but it's like it's a complete waste of fucking time because I didn't get like this whatever like inspiration
Mhm.
or spark or whatever, and I'm just
Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing about
what
this. It's
like
like,
why
Yeah,
like what
once I also found
like
out that
what
there
is the
was this
what is
shit
the
where it's like you need to
joy?
get like the legacies or whatever, where it's like you need to get like the perfect runs to then like stack
Yeah, I'm
that or
just
something.
like
I was like, nah, man, I thought this shit was just you stack cards and then you do runs. I didn't know. I was like, I didn't realize it was like
yeah,
this.
yeah, because it's just like there are some people that I know that aren't like they don't fuck with the numbers autism shit. And it's just like
yeah,
all
yeah,
I
yeah.
see from them is like, fuck, dude, I fucking hate this. It's like fuck. And I'm just like, why are you like what are you
Yeah,
getting out of this? Like
Yeah,
what are
like why are
that's
you
you
part of
playing
that's
this?
part
Like
of
you know,
me. That's part of me too.
there's like a whole anime
Yeah.
you could watch instead. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact.
I don't know. To me
I
it's
think I think
very
part of it's also the hope where it's like you think I think Horse Girls is designed just in the way like with it like pretty good balance in that aspect where it's like it's designed just enough so that like you think you can be good enough to like beat the numbers or beat the dice rolls, but in reality you can't. You just kind of have to look up,
I
and
don't
like
know.
that's the frustrating part of it. And part of also what I don't like is that the end game is so like I don't know how to describe it. It's like again, well, no, I do know how to describe it. It's like there's this one move in a fighting game. I think I talked with Nier about this, where it's like it was like the Strive Potemkin Heat Knuckle kind of thing, where I was like, when I win an interaction, right? When I win the guessing game, when I win the dice roll, right? I don't want my reward to be another dice roll. You know what I mean? I want my reward to be like, hey, you got this reward, right?
Yeah.
I don't like even if the dice roll is advantageous for me, I don't care. I don't want it to be a dice roll. But in Uma Musume, in Horse Girls, that's exactly what it is. Where it's like you for the reward of winning a dice roll, let's say one good like run, right, is being able to do another dice roll, but it's a tiny bit more advantageous. And I'm like, like,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
To me, it's very alien because, like I said, I think
yeah, yeah,
last episode or so, like I was almost immediately like as soon as I got my hands kind of like on the gameplay of the game, I was immediately like, I'm not fucking with this. Like I don't fuck with this
yeah.
one bit. So for me to see like it be so popular among my various sort of social circles, and then at the same time seeing so many people being like, I fucking hate this game. I'm just like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
what is the draw? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
horse girls I get. I mean, I like horse girls. I've watched the anime, but
Yeah,
like
yeah. The game
I'm good.
itself is
Like
not.
I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I'm good with watching the
Yeah.
anime. Um, so I don't know. To me, it's very alien. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for me, I'm more a little bit more on the side of like, I don't like the way the game is designed, but I also have again, it's like that's part of I think the sort of the good design, quote unquote good, not in an ethical sense. I mean in a yeah, you made this game design good to sucker people in kind of good game design,
yeah,
but they made it so that again, like once you start playing, you're like, oh, I think I should be able to beat the numbers. I should be able to beat the stats if I press buttons goodly enough, but you actually can't. And you're like, God damn it.
Well,
um,
what's one more run?
yeah, it's like I can press buttons goodly enough. I should like I think if the next one should be able to fine if I do it goodly enough, and then you get like three bad fucking streaks in a row, and you're like, fuck this.
yeah,
So I think again that's part of the because if it was literally like like nobody's sane, right? Like a lot of obviously the people in your Discord, right? Are or enough people in your Discord are like will go to Las Vegas, right? At a casino and be like, fuck, I'm like doing traps properly. Like, why am I not getting this? Like nobody
yeah,
would say
yeah,
that, right? But in this game, it's designed just enough where you're like, oh, like I'm good at this game, and then you get fucked. Like you're not good at this game because at the end of the day, everybody is subservient to that 5% or 10% chance. So
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I made it
that's
all
my
the
analysis there.
way. I made it all the way. I think to what is it through like a G1 race or two, especially as well with like Ogre early on, with like a
Hmm.
team that I really wasn't even paying attention to. I kind of auto selected a bunch of shit, but I realized after watching like other people like Northern Lion play that oh yeah, that's right. Skills should be activating, and I should be getting an ult
Wait a minute.
at some point. And that just was
Yeah.
it never happened. It was just Ogre would just blast, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's
Do the
cool." And
ultimates.
then I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I should probably pay attention to it." And then I had that
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
where, again, I got sent. She got sent to the infirmary like 5 times in a row, and I was like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah. But yeah, that again, that's my analysis of it, you know. But it's I think also a part of why it's blowing up on global on the Western side is that everybody kind of got into it. You know what I mean? At the same time, that's like a big thing, and I
Yeah,
think a lot of gotcha devs in the future will be taking note of how this kind of pans up because like of at least the marketing department and the promotion PR department will be taking big note of this because
I mean, I feel like the crazy thing is there
Mhm.
really wasn't that much PR, like global
yeah.
wise. You know,
It was
it was kind of
literally
just like,
just like word of mouth, and
Yeah,
it
the
was
marketing
crazy how it spread.
yeah, the like somebody like there will 100% be a bunch of game devs that study this like very hard to be like
Yeah, it's
what
like because
happened like how
I know
yeah
ton. I think it was a perfect storm of like people have been primed for
yeah part of
like
that
I
was
said
yeah
with like the auto battlers and the deck builders and
hmm
stuff like that, and it's
yeah
just
exactly
like Because yeah, it's
Well,
like
also
Northern
Uma
Lion
Musume,
and like a
accepting Uma
shit.
Musume, that was also part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like a shit ton of like streamers that just like normally don't engage with anything like that I know are just like,
Hmm.
yeah, no, I'm opening my stream now with like an hour of this or 30 minutes of this. Like we're doing one run of this to start the stream.
Hmm.
And it's like they're not
Right, right, right.
sponsored anything. It's just like, no, I'm doing this. And it's like
Yeah.
whether you
And
fucking like
also,
it or not, you're gonna sit here.
yeah. And I think another, and we keep kind of doing this, but I do think it's like it's pretty relevant. But I think a part of this is also, how do I say this? I don't want to sound like too silly, but I do think this is true. It's like I think gotcha games people generally perceive, both in the West and in the East, in Japan as well. Gotcha games people perceive to be way more nerd, otaku, weeb, oh, cringe, like blah blah, than just like general anime and like manga and like media now, right? Although they're pretty much on the same like level in terms of like how they are. Like I think in the popular stream, in the popular like mainstream, people kind of, that's how they perceive it. Gotcha is less well perceived than anime and manga and stuff like that now, right?
For
Like
sure.
you might see
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
LeBron or whoever, just like, like Michael Jordan, like watching anime, but you're not gonna see him picking up like horse girls randomly, right? But how did, if you think about it, how did Uma Musume spread, right? Like at the end of the day, it was initially mostly through the anime and the multimedia kind of like network, right? Um, and it was much less by the game than it was by the multimedia network. Whereas it's like the opposite with something like Grand Blue, right? Where Grand Blue pretty much spread mostly through the game, right? And then they kind of had like events kind of pop off on the side.
Yeah.
Um, and that sort of spread of the multimedia and stuff like that made it so that like sleeper cell agents, the weeb crowd, the Twitch crowd, stuff like that, the sort of semi-mainstream crowd, the crowd that whispers to the normies, right? Oh, this is fine, this is fine. They were already accepting of Uma Musume because the normies already have the otakus, the nerdly nerds in their ear going like, oh yeah, horse girls, of course, blah 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 blah. This information, right? Because of the anime, because of the manga. So when the game came out, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, horse girls, that character, this character, blah 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 blah." As opposed to, in my opinion, and I don't think this would be a hot take, right? Granblue, if Granblue came out in the, like, let's say Granblue like global like shutdown, and then it came out back out again, right? This, I don't think Granblue still would have as much impact as Horse Girls did, because it just doesn't have that like pervasive multimedia presence, especially in the West, compared to Horse Girls, right? So
Yeah.
it's a very kind of interesting where the anime and manga kind of did planted the seeds, planted the sleeper cell agent kind of neural chips, was a pre-promotion for the game to take a hold in global. And that's sort of I think part of what drove it. At least obviously there was like that perfect storm factor to what Dark said, but yeah. Anyways, that was our horse girl, the preview of our horse girl roundtable.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will not have an actual roundtable, but who knows. But anyways, that was our 2 weeks. I didn't have much other than that, but we are probably going to move on here now, and we are going to try to do actual proper reviews. Last time we did mainly first impressions because we only had like 1 or 2 episodes. I don't think any of the series we watched had 2 episodes, right? It was pretty much all 1 episodes. Everybody did their impressions on their first episodes, but now we're kind of trying to move into actual reviews
Speak
now.
for yourself, Bucko. Mine had two.
Oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, I will head off and start with food. Oh yeah, see. Oh wait, what is it? Yeah, here we go. See you tomorrow at the food court, or also known as food court de matashita. This, I believe, is like this. So this is a full series or full episode series, like 18 minutes or whatever, minus ads. But I believe this only has 6 episodes planned for it. There are 4 episodes out currently, but I believe there are only 6 episodes planned for it, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, the food court or the food court de Matashita, or also known as the food court anime, um, is a manga original by Narie Shinichiro. So Narie Shinichiro did the art for the manga adaptation of Absolute Duo, and his first work was actually this like weirdly, I think it was. I haven't read it, but it's probably kind of like smutty. But I believe it is. Yeah, Oshegu-kun. Yeah, Oshegu-kun to wa dekimasen. Also known as I can't date my student, can I? And that art looks smutty as fuck. Yeah, look at those
Wow.
eyes, baby. Yeah, that is definitely a smut series if I ever seen one. But anyways, so that's the mangaka, and the anime adaptation of this was actually headed by Atelier Pondar. So Atelier Pondar is a studio that was sort of founded by one of the animation producers over at White Fox, and so they have a lot of connections. I believe, they started out with Isekai Oji-san, which was a big success. They then went into doing the Gambare Doki-chan. Gambare Doki-chan, I believe, a series of OVAs, ONAs. For those of you who don't know, Gambare Doki-chan is by the same manga artist who did what is it? Why did I forget this? It's Yom. Yom, I believe, is the artist, but he did a couple of other stuff, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, he did stuff like Mutatites. But anyways, and then before this, one of their major titles was Isekai Shikaku, I believe, which is what I think that like a gloomy like super like emo like poet or whatever, I believe, that it got isekai'd. But yeah, they did that, and now they're doing this along with some subcontractors here. The director is Koga Kazumi. He is a relative veteran director. He did Rent a Girlfriend, I believe, all seasons direction. He did Tempuru, a decent number of others under his belt, with some like stuff like episode director stuff before that. And him and Atalia Pondark is gathering a lot of mostly veterans and a lot of big brand names. So I think the Pondark producer guys had a lot of connections that they kind of pulled for this for some reason. So yeah, a lot of decent number of big brand names, including Sakai Kyuta. If you guys don't know, Sakai Kyuta is the character designer and the chief animation director for ReZero. They bought in Akitagawa Jin. Akitagawa Jin is super prolific sound director. He's second generation, obviously. His father being Akitagawa Susumu, as well as Hanada Juki. And you guys should know who Hanada Juki is because he is one of the biggest names in terms of scriptwriters and one of the sort of big names to come out for KyoAni. And he is a scriptwriter scriptwriter slash storyboard slash series composition for this series. Hanada is probably most known for his KyoAni work, such as Hibiki Euphonium, because he is part of the two-man tag team alongside director Ishihara Tatsuya um, of KyoAni fame. But yeah, a lot of big names in the staff, a lot of veterans in the runs. I think the only one that doesn't have like a bunch of experience is the music person with Tatane Kana. But yeah, most of the others are pretty much heavy veterans. The Seiyu, the voice acting cast, is pretty much the same. Almost everybody is a big veteran. You have Aoyama Yoshino as the Gato girl in the series, Yamamoto. You have Fukuyama Jun. You have Hidaka Rina. You have Jaime Saori. You have Matsuo Yusuke as like the supporting part of the supporting cast. So obviously just like super veterans. And the only newcomer actually is actually Miyazaki Hiyori, who does the black-haired heroine and Wada. And this is not just a newcomer, but this is this Wada, the black-haired hero. This is her first main role and her first named role. she has only done unnamed roles before this. So this is her breakout main role, and she also sings the ED, I believe, at the ending of the anime alongside Ayami Yoshino. So pretty big role for her, despite the scale of the series, right? It's not what was that like one guy? Oh yeah. It's not like the guy who did like his first role as like Denji or whatever, right? In Chainsaw Man, which is just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's not that level. Yeah, that was very silly. We saw that and he was like he wasn't just in Denji, right? He was literally both planned to be he was in Denji and then he was also planned to be in like one of those 2D male idol multimedia franchises, right? As
Yep.
one of the main characters, like the red-haired main protagonist. Like a
Yeah.
season later, it was
Bro's
ridiculous.
got crazy
Um,
connections.
yeah. That is a platinum spoon if I ever seen one. But yeah, it's not that big, but it's still quite good, right? To have your breakout role, be a main character in a pretty um I want to say sort of cult favorite series, like cult following series, alongside a bunch of veterans, right? So pretty good for her. Going over the OP and ED, the OP is Mikansei ni Matataite, also known as Twinkling Incompletely by Oisuka Melonpon. Oisuka Melonpon is a male J-rock band from Tokyo, a three-man band. The composition and the vocals are pretty standard song J-pop. I do like the lighter vocals, the higher register that the male vocal sings at. It kind of does add to the general tone of the theme of the series this time around pretty well. The storyboard is definitely missing some frames, but I would say it's probably okay for what the series is and the budget constraints that it's sort of obviously under. I do like the cute like dance animation, but I almost feel like the opening has worse animation quality than some of the episodes, if that makes sense. It's like I'm watching some of the later episodes and like how they pan out like animation storyboard wise. I'm like, you know, if they just put these like scenes in the opening, I feel like it'd actually be a better opening. So that's like a thing, I guess. And the ED is like, and the ending for this is Tonari Awase by so this is sung by both of the two main heroines, Miyasuke Hiyori, right, voice acting Wada, as well as Aoyama Yoshino voicing Yamamoto, right? So pretty relaxing, pretty standard anime song ending, slightly above average. I do like the first couple of lines in the lyrics where I forget the exact lines, but it was like, hey, why are we singing this intro part? We don't need a freaking intro, right? So that like meta part of the lyrics I do like. So thumbs up to that. The storyboard, however, is one of the most budget freaking storyboards and endings that I've seen in the past like 1 to 3 years at least. So it's a little bit hard for me to give it extra points for this ending. Look at this ending. Like it's cute, but it's like come on. It's very budget if you think about it. It's like it's like okay, like what are we doing here kind of thing. But the song itself is okay. So that was my opinion on the OP and the ED. Audio visuals. The uh, overall palette is pretty light with a lot of like not as many solid lines. I think the overall artwork, at least the anime designs, transferred over well, pretty decently from the manga itself. There are extremely minimal.
What's your
What?
opinion on the no noses?
Oh, the no noses. I think it's fine. I mean, like it's pretty obvious what the design is trying to go for, right? It's trying to appeal to. Like I think it's
Yeah.
fine, right?
To me,
um
it looks a bit odd, but
yeah, it is like it is very it's almost trying to replicate somehow some like chibi designs are
yeah.
supposed to like what they're supposed to portray, but like with regular proportions, in my opinion, right? Um, but I think it works decent, okay, in this sort of with the character designs given. Um, the series itself has extremely minimal frames. It's like even when they're talking, even when they're like eating, there's not much movement. And it's not just, oh yeah, because they're sitting down and eating. No, it's like just like them putting stuff down or them raising their hands, stuff like that. They're like maybe 2 frames in like 5 minutes. The static designs of the characters when they react to stuff, though, is quite nice. And I think it does attract a lot of the usual crowd who are attracted to the whole cute girls doing cute stuff genre, such as myself. Um, the visuals hold up pretty decently, um, and the food porn is okay enough. It's not like the food like drawings and stuff like that are pretty decent, but it's not like the overall like visuals and the way they animate is not fantastic. You're like, oh, okay, this is relatively budget. Like they're doing a good job of it, but it is quite obviously budget. The BGM works, but again, it's pretty nondescript. Probably just needs a little bit of I don't know what it needs. It's a little bit like it's very standard slice of life BGM kind of thing. With a lot of silence in between. Uh, but yeah, not much. Like not a ton of extra points that I can give for the audio visuals, but I do appreciate at least that the animation uh part of the staff did a very good job, obviously, in playing around the budget constraints to try to create, I want to say, the best animated version of this series, right? But that being said, again, it's not exactly filled with Kino, Sakugas, and stuff like that. So that's just a heads up. The story itself, there is no real story. It's just 2 girls that were in this club, or sorry, not in a club, that it's in a class who are classmates, and both are kind of like loners, get together in a food court, and it's just episodes of them just talking with each other and eating stuff, and the talks are literally just all over the place. It can be basic character expositions, although there's not much like development. But it's like dribblings, tiny dribblings, and bits and pieces of character exposition here and there. But it's mostly stream of consciousness, like them just talking about random subjects, right? Like food, life, society related, anything, right? Relationships, whatever, stuff like that. Um, it has a nice sort of like, I want to say, nice enough background and like waft, right? It's not a core thing, but it has like a semi like perfume scent of, oh, this is slice of life in Japan and we're eating stuff and that's nice. And enough of that to again attract people who want what they say in Japan, like a healing series, right? A healing manga, a healing anime kind of thing. It attracts people of that nature. But I think the way the story or the way the series is kind of composed of these very stream of consciousness conversations about whatever, just like random stuff, right? As its core, may be off-putting to some people. Some people may like it. Again, I am okay with it, but I recognize that that sort of flow or lack of flow may be off-putting to some people who are just like, okay, you guys are like talking about sweet potatoes, and then now you're just like talking about relationships, like, and I guess none of this matters, and then you guys are talking about your families a little bit, I guess, and it's like, okay, what's going on, kind of thing, right? Again, that may be not as appealing to some people, um, as opposed to others. To me, again, I think the general tone of it is nice, assuming you like and you know what you're getting into. And the audio visuals and the designs and the storyboarding and the timing of the dialogue, as I mentioned before, and the anime are good enough to kind of hold it steady without things becoming noticeably bad. Um, except for maybe the animations. But again, it's the brand names I think in the staff, such as Hana Juki, did a quite a good job in terms of like setting that up for the animation or for the anime. Did a pretty good job without making be like, yeah, this looks bad or whatever. But again, I don't think it's anime of the year contender in terms of the audio visuals and in terms of how everything kind of flows, right? I think if the story was kind of what it was, and then the audio visuals were like super good, um, or like super unique and stuff like that, and charming, like how Onimai was, I think it would have been close to it would have been potentially rising up to be a very solid series or even potentially anime of the year, depending on how the production value was. But I just don't think it's at that level. I do like the sort of, in a sense, I do like the unique tack this series, the author tries to take in terms of like story flow or like complete lack thereof. But I do think again the pace is a little bit frenetic and disjointed, even for me, even for somebody who likes stuff like slice of life, who likes yonkoma, who likes episodic series like I do. I do think the pace is a little bit frenetic and disjointed at times because it's constantly just trying to hop onto different subjects and conversations. Um, and as an additional kind of add on to that, I think this whole sort of do subject one for 2 minutes and then hop onto a different subject for 2 minutes, that sort of idea, this works way better than in manga and in yonkoma and stuff like that, and nikoma, yonkoma, whatever, than it does in an anime. So, and that's, I think this is less like a dig at at the product and more just like this is just an unfortunate part of life or part of like the multimedia franchise cycle when you have to create like adaptations of this, right? So I don't know whether they thought of that beforehand and then they were like, screw it, let's just go ahead with it, or what happened. But I just feel like it doesn't. This sort of pacing and this sort of idea doesn't fit as well in the anime format as opposed to the manga format because the manga like because it's like separate panels, right? You can alt and separate channels and like again you can separate like kind of quarantine yonkoma and stuff like that. It's much easier for the reader to be like, oh, yonkoma, okay, this happened, okay, boom, right now, like just after 4 panels, okay, the next 4 panels are completely different or whatever. Like people are more used to that than an anime, which I think there's more of this sense of like you need a little bit more continuity rather than being
Is
like,
there
oh,
not like a sort of cutaway, like
there is a cutaway, but
graphic?
it's just like the there's a cutaway for some of it, like for like if there's like a scene at like a crane game or a youth catcher, right? And then boom, they go to like something else or like a big thing kind of happens, then there's like a cutaway. But like when they're just kind of sitting down on the bench and at the food court and doing stuff, sometimes it's just like the conversation just changes. And
Huh.
um it's not really chunked into mini episodes or like yonkoma. And so it's like I just don't think that it's a lot more awkward in my opinion for the anime version of it than it is probably for the manga version. So that's my opinion of it. Again, uh, I'm sure again, Hana Juki, Akita Jin, and all the others are just like, they're legends, and I'm sure they try their best, and it looks like they try their best, right, with dialogue and the storyboarding and like stuff like that. Um, but I think the source material, I won't say it's like bad, but I just don't think it was necessarily built to be made into an anime adaptation. And I kind of had my reservations when we were previewing the series, but I let my inner kind of like nerddom, right? Because I love these sorts of series, right? I let my little nerddom kind of take over and be like, oh man, like this is going to be great. But now that I kind of think about it with a cooler head, I do think that it's a little bit harder to adapt again as an anime. So,
Do you think it would be better as a
um,
short or?
I think if it had a short, I mean, it's already 6 episodes as is with the, maybe if it was, because it's like, I think if it was made into a short, it would have to have this thing where it's like, it either has like 2 mini episodes or in one short or something like that, or something weird, or if it was like one mini ep per short, it would need to be, need to have like 18 different episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably in like a weird situation where they couldn't do that either. And I think maybe it might have been better. I don't know. It's like very weird. Um, I think yeah, it's a little bit weird. It just like the way the conversations work, I think, and it's like it's a little bit different from it's a little bit different from what I'll call like kind of resetting Yonkoma, or resetting kind of manga, like say Komi-san or something like that, right? Where you have a very kind of like structured flow in the story, right? Everybody is kind of aware of what the story flow is, even if it becomes episodic. Obviously, there's like development in these series, but it's like slight development, right? But even if it's episodic and even if it's like more compact and shorter, in stuff like Komi-san, in stuff like annoying senpai, in stuff like what was it? Play with me. What's that gray hair girl with the t-shirt, right? The dekai sugoi dekai shirt, was it?
Oh,
Something
Yeah,
play,
Uzaki.
that's
right?
yeah,
Yeah, Uzaki-chan, yeah.
Uzaki-chan.
Uzaki-chan. Everybody kind of knows the structure, right? So regardless of like the pacing, it's very like, oh, I know what's coming. Like this is a little bit more natural. And then even in the anime, it's like this mini episode happens, boom, cut. This mini episode happens, boom, cut. And it's like, especially since it is repetitive, you're like, oh, okay, I know what the structure is. I know what the flow is going to be. Boom, 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 boom. And even if there's like special thing like, oh, the guy goes into the girl's house and blah 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 blah. Like all those interactions also tend to be pretty standard. So everybody kind of is in on the magic trick on what's happening, right? I think this is again because it's so much more like stream consciousness. It's like okay, like you're just kind of going into it, and then like I guess that's it, like kind of thing. So it's a little bit more awkward. I again, I'll give it slightly bonus points for being a little bit more unique in that sense, but it still needs to be like, you know what I mean? It's not like anime of the year again. It's like
Yeah, of
it's
course.
hard for me to give it something like that. So yeah, overall, again, I think my rating for this would be a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I was mainly thinking like if I let my bias shine, it would be maybe a six up to 6.5 out of 10, but it would be extremely hard for me, especially given how budget the opening is. And or sorry, not yeah, both how budget the opening and the ending is, and the overall kind of level of the audio visuals. It would be extremely hard for me to start giving it like 7, 8 plus like that because while I do believe it is properly solidly above average, I don't think it's like something that can properly like stand up to series. I don't even think it can stand up to something like say Blue Lock, right, from a couple of seasons ago. Although I don't like Blue Lock and the premise and the story as much as I do Food Court, right? But it's undeniable that the way Blue Lock was made is obviously like you know what I mean, like this whole like season 2 production value aside, right? Season 1 of
Sure.
Blue Lock, let's say, right, is objectively a better anime, I think, than Food Court. So it's hard for me to give a big, like, wow, honking great anime kind of rating to Food Court, in my
Right.
opinion. So, um, I think again, it's hard for me to give it a 6 or give it more than a 6 out of 10. Um, uh, uh, do I think what do I think would have made it better? Probably more money. Probably more money. Like and probably just I don't know.
That tends to
It's
help.
the stores. Yeah, yeah. But Warren Buffett coming in and funding the series, but also just like again, it's hard for this sort of structure, I think, to really properly thrive in an anime thing. So but yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I'm sure this will get a bunch of merchandise and crossovers and collabs. It already has, right? There's been like one or two other, like there's been like a crate place that collabed with this food court anime. It's like this sort of series is perfect for collabs because cafes, food places, stuff like that are always looking out for like anime collabs and stuff like that. And it's a fucking food court series. They're eating stuff all the time, and it's cute girls. People want to buy cute girl merch. So, um, but yeah, a 6 out of 10. I know Mal gave it like a 7 out of 10. They're like, oh, it's so comfy. It's one of the blah 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 stuff, and it's like again, I have my bias. To would I recommend this to another person? Like, you have to watch this, blah, blah, blah. You have to be on the same wavelength. You have to be on the same sort of like wavelength as me, I think, for you to really appreciate it, is what I would say. So, but yeah, that was my review of the food court anime, also known as Food Court de Matashita, also known as See You Tomorrow at the Food Court, manga original, adapted into anime by Italia Pondar. So yeah, if you like a little bit more of a stream of consciousness slice of life with just cute girls doing cute stuff such as eating, talking with each other, reacting, stuff like that, and you want to see cute kind of general static designs, check this out, I guess. But don't expect a lot of animation, and don't expect coherent story pacing. So yeah. Anyways, that was it for me. What about you, Dark? What do you have for us?
I have an edgy series. I have Tougen Anki. Edgy, there's blood. There's a lot of blood.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
Tougen Anki is one of the two alongside Gachiakuta, right? Gachiakuta,
yes, yep.
like,
To
what
the point where I
this
got
is.
them mixed up, but yeah, it's it's
Mm.
something. This is being done by so this is a shonen. This is being done by Studio Hibari. Um I guess the most recent, their best known stuff is probably Hanako-kun. Totally Bound Hanako-kun's like season 1, season 2, so on and so forth. I mean they did, and they were a producer for like Radiant and stuff, but yeah, it looks like, oh actually no, I'm sorry, they were producers for that. What were they a main studio for? Oh, okay. Well, Tekken Bloodline. So,
Wow.
we're
Oh
really
no.
and all the high card stuff. Oh, and Miru Watashi no Mirai.
Oh, they did Mido. They're one
Oh,
of the
yeah, they
studios that
did
did Mido. Oh no.
Okay,
Oh
now
no.
here's the crazy thing. You would think
Okay.
that would be oh no, but actually,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, this show does not have terrible audio visuals, to be honest. They're
Well,
actually
Okay,
quite
okay.
impressive at times.
High cards audiovisual decent there. So
Yeah. So, so the basic premise is, this series kind of cold opens with our main character Ichinoshi Shiki. He's in his room with a bunch of. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. This this cold opens with a guy holding a baby, um, and another guy, Yakuza looking almost, being like, "Senpai, like you can't do this. You can't abandon us. Don't, like, you need to eliminate, like you can't take that child or whatever, so on and so forth."
Okay.
Um, and then it cuts to explaining, I believe, then it cuts to explaining the very brief overview of uh what's it called, Momotaro, and battling like Oni, right? And
Mm,
how there were Oni, there were demons, and Momotaro wiped them out.
mm. So this
And
is
then
like
it
a
cut.
variant based upon Momotaro stuff, or the Momotaro Densetsu, the usual
Yeah, it's
story,
kind of
right?
horseshit. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit though, because what happens is, so like
I think it
Shiki
just
is,
uses
it just
the
uses it as like
Momotaro
backdrop.
story as like a
Just the
basic
names and
like
stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah, because
kind of
like,
just like to justify the existence of Oni basically.
yeah, so
I see.
basically, so yeah, you know what? I'll just get the premise out of the way, like that early part out of the way first. So basically, like the overall like lore is that there is a Momotaro like corporation, basically, like group that is killing Oni. And so Shiki's adopted father is one of the Momotaro and took him in as a kid, and then you find out that Shiki is an Oni, right? And this is going to be
Mhm.
first episode spoilers. So Shiki is like a, like a high school dropout. He's hanging out in his room with, I would assume, what are airsoft guns. And then what's it called? His father gets a call for a liquor delivery. They get into a fight, and his dad goes to deliver it. And then Shiki gets attacked. So on and so forth. Battle ensues. You wind up learning about all this stuff about the Momotaros and the descendants of him and the descendants of Onis. You find out obviously Shiki is an Oni, and then his adopted father is killed by this other descendant of Momotaro. And they are able to use this like black mist power to create like
What?
blades, basically. Yeah, they use like this black mist
okay,
power to
okay.
like create blades and shit like that.
I thought for a moment when you were like talking about like black, like the dust powers, I was like, all right, is this like some Godzilla singular point? Like, what's happening here? Right?
No, it's
Like
like
with
yeah,
dust, yeah.
it's yeah, so like it hasn't really gotten into a lot of that because there are not that many Momotaros that you see initially, because like obviously that would kind of be a bit of an issue. But yeah, so anyway, Shiki's dad like basically fights his like underling other guy from the Momoitaro thing, winds up getting killed, sacrifices himself to save Shiki. Shiki goes berserk, and turns into a weird like blood carnage almost looking thing, like symbiote looking guy, like he's fully covered in blood,
Right,
and
okay.
sprouts a bunch of guns from his back, and almost kills this guy. And so then that guy winds up retreating, and Shiki's dad obviously like fully dies, and then he gets taken in by another guy, another Oni. And yeah, that's kind of where the story kind of really kicks off. And right now it seems to be Shiki joining this Oni Corps, like this Oni school, to learn how to control his powers, to basically go to war with the Momotaro. Like, group.
Wait, so is it like an actual academy setting, like Naruto shit, or is it more like a Fire Force setting,
Okay, so
like squad kind of?
the weird thing is that I would assume this is going to turn into more of a Fire Force like squad thing, because like they showed like, oh, it's a school in, I forget what the island is, but it's like a secluded like school to teach you how to control your powers, so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And there's an entire episode that was dedicated to them doing like, I thought it was going to be sort of like almost like a oh man, why can't I remember the Irumakun? I thought it was gonna be something like that almost.
Oh yeah,
Where it's like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like, do this like activity thing. And so it's like their first thing was gonna be like tag, and you had to like collect these like balls before the teacher, before their like homeroom teacher finds them and beats the shit out of them basically and captures them.
That's from Naruto, actually.
Yeah, it is a very like Naruto setup with that too. And if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
kill the homeroom teacher, then also you advance, and can
Uh-huh.
basically select your own squad at that point and just go on your own. Because the implication is like you are literally not going to be able to kill this guy, like no matter what you do. Like there's zero.
You're right,
chance.
exactly.
It would be as if like in Naruto they were like, yeah, by the way, if you can kill Kakashi, you can just go and join whatever squad you want to. Good luck with that.
That would be like is there
luck with
any
that a little
game
bit.
right now that like has that sort of, because it would be like, how obviously every once in a while like games have that little Easter egg or like secret boss kind of thing where it's like obviously Link, like the store owner or the shopkeeper, or like Mario like trying to do like extra like things like in Super Mario Land, or like a Super Mario RPG, or like has a like little secret boss that you could try killing them, or you could try doing this, but it's like you can potentially face auto lose. it would be really cool if like one of the Naruto games had like a thing where you could actually try to just like kill Kakashi,
Yeah,
and then
try
you
and
get
beat
like a
him
surprise
early
ending.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, see what
exactly.
happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
yeah, but like the weird thing was like that was a whole episode, and now what it left off on, so far with the 4 episodes was that like one of the branches, I believe the Kyoto branch or something, like is now under attack, and so they're like,
Mm.
never mind. The teacher was like, never mind, fuck this whole thing. None of you are expelled. We gotta go and assist this branch,
Oh,
this
the
Kyoto
classic.
branch.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's kind of where it's left off, right? The classic characters are all like pretty tropey. Um, there's like there's like a crybaby like girl in the class. There's like a Gyaru almost. There's um a guy who's like constantly what are you calling, like doubting himself, but also like thinking he's like dying, like things like that, like gloomy guy. There's the class,
Hmm.
there's like the nerdy guy with glasses, the class rep sort of dude. Um and so on and so forth. The teacher's gimmick is that he's all about like what would you call it? He's all about like proficiency, like efficiency basically, where he's like, I don't want to waste time on anything. I don't want to waste time on people. um Basically like prove yourself to me, and that like my teaching is even going to be worth like the payoff, so on and so forth. His fun character design quirk is he's so autistic about that he wears rollerblades at all times, because they're efficient to get around in. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much the premise of the show. A lot of it is pretty much focused on the action and combat anyway. It's pretty much all about combat.
When you're saying that, like, is so, but like, because like you mentioned a story, but then you're like, it mostly just goes into action and combat. Is it a little bit more flowing in terms of some of the other kind of these like similar, such as like, let's say Sabikui Bisco or like whatever, or is it like Undead Unluck, where it's just like, yeah, Monster of the Week, baby, kind of business?
So yeah, so from what I've read about this series, is this is kind of like pure, crystallized, unadulterated, unapologetic, unabashed shonen
Crack.
slop.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it is
Yeah,
Slop?
yeah, no,
literally-
I really was about to say like, no, it is shonen slop.
It is
like,
literally, if you imagine like if you imagine a series where every single episode is the tune-in exams, that's what this series is basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has really no like it's continuing a plot, but it doesn't. It kind of does like conflict of the week, evidently.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not really doing anything crazy with the story. Like the story is so straightforward. It's like kind of unreal.
But also the important thing is, does the story like does the author or the anime put any emphasis on sort of advancing the story in any sense, or is it just like, yeah, monsters, yeah, mini arc, we're monsters kind of thing?
Not really sure yet, to be honest.
I
Everything
think,
was
I think
kind
at
of the
the end of the
setup.
day, I think at the end of the day, the story is probably mostly going to be a vehicle to fight more
Yeah,
people.
to fight and show powers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
it's not really gonna go many places, I would imagine. It's just gonna be like it'll probably turn into like some Naruto style thing where it's like, yeah, who are the elite combatants of the week? Like, who's the group we're going after? Like, we're fighting for this arc, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, the big emphasis right now is kind of like the blood powers, showing off different ones. She gets his guns. Current gets like blood guns. And like the main, like the teacher has like a blood like umbrella and like summons. This other dude with like it's so cool. It's so sick. Like there's so many awesome scenes I have to like I'll have to see if I can pull up later or and like send to you guys. There's like the dude in this cover art on the right, the blonde guy with the mask has like scars all over his body.
Talking about Chainsaw Man.
Yes, dude. He literally just
Yeah.
gets blood chainsaw man, so he can make like buzz saws and chainsaws and like fire blades out and stuff. But the way they animate it is so crazy because like he rips his stitches open. It's like it's nasty. He like digs his fingers because he has basically like a Hellraiser pattern on his entire like forearms and stuff of like stitches, right? And so it's animated to where he's just like he literally like to bring out like both arms at one point. He does this weird like cross arm thing where he digs his thumbs into like both his like tops of his forearms as he like points his thumbs at both forearms.
Like Wakanda Forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are you
talking
about?
like as if like you're putting your arms out in front, point your thumbs at both of your forearms, your opposite forearms, by like where your elbows are basically, and then he like drags them across and rips open both of his arms to like bring out the blades.
Okay.
Like it's like it very well done, and it's like really nasty and it's really edgy and cool. Like,
yeah, it's very. The vibes I get from this series are very much like a Hellsing kind of like rule of cool kind of shit.
Oh,
like,
okay. That's not that bad in its own. Like as long as it's done like consistently, yeah.
Yeah, if it looks cool, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I see.
Yeah, like it's genuinely like ridiculous what they're doing with some of these powers. Like it's really awesome. Like everyone like when they over summon or like when they go berserk, they start like bleeding from their eyeball, every like orifice basically, and going into like rage mode.
Yeah,
like
Christ.
Shiki's berserk form is fucking awesome. Like again, he's just like a full blood like demon with just guns sprouting out of him.
I can tell that this is gonna sell. Like, there's going to be a demand, or not a demand, but people are going to make at least a couple of figures from the series.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of
cool
potential to
shit
make
running
really
around.
cool ass designs with that, and like the blood dripping everywhere. And so then it brings me to, I guess, like the major thing I like with the series is you would think that this series would not be primed to be probably one of the best CG blended series I've seen in a long time. Like the CG blending in this, like obviously, like there's no Yaiba or something like that, but the CG blending in this is kind of insane. It looks pretty damn good. They have full CG scenes where you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is CG, but then it'll have transitions where you're kind of like, you can't tell. Obviously, like, some of the work is being done from the blood effects, like, and the shader for the blood, but it looks real nice. Like, it is not an ugly series by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Like, so that's been like really awesome to see. Like, especially since it's like, yeah, no, I was not expecting it from this series. Like, from a series like this, I really wasn't. I was really expecting it to just kind of be like slop through and through and not have any cool budget stuff at all. But that's not true. That's not the case. It has some very cool stuff, very cool shots. And yeah, the characters so far have been pretty fun. They've been it's been a pretty cool cast, and I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to see more blood power. And to see where they go with it. I'm going to copy. Yeah. So someone is posting entire episodes of this on YouTube somehow.
Oh my god! How are they getting away with this?
I didn't realize it was 2011 again. But
yeah,
apparently.
I'm surprised. Like freaking Kadakawa isn't knocking on their door.
But yeah, like thumbnail wise, obviously,
what is happening?
Big ass gun, but the timestamp I posted is Jin bringing out the saw blade, and I think it's awesome.
Is this guy like? Wait, they must be working with this like service, right? Because I think it says starting with episode 4, each episode is available for 1 week only, blah blah blah, and it has like
Oh,
Samsung TV
okay.
Plus and
They're
stuff.
all
So it's like actually, yeah. I think this is just like limited viewing or something like that, but it's still amazing that they have it on YouTube. But I feel like this is better than having it on Crunchyroll probably, but it's also much more susceptible to people just like trying to steal it or do something with it.
Ripping it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is also especially available in HD. So
yeah, but at least it's like when you make something accessible like this, it
it's better than whatever is happening out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can like share clips and shit. Like you can timestamp stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's cool. And even better plus, you can watch stuff on. You can watch the whole dang thing on YouTube subbed. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm gonna. I want to see if I can find the later scene too. But yeah, so it's like obviously like all of that stuff is cool. The CG is like not bad by any means. It's quite good in a lot of scenes. Some of the fights are really cool. And the effects are nice. The dripping blood effects in episode 2 are also very cool with the teacher. He has some really cool shit. Yeah, here it is. This is the timestamp for the fucking double arm release, which looked fucking cool as shit. But yeah, it's like the amount of CG they're using and the amount of blending they do sometimes is really nice.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, see, stuff like this is just like it's just like cool. Like stuff like I think stuff like this, powers like this, like character designs like this are like what really draw people into a shonen series. Something like a Soul Eater, something like a Fire Force, you know what I mean? And if you just keep it up, like
I think the idea is also it's better to if you are going to do something like this, it's better to do, again, something like this and lean into it than try to be like, you know what I mean? Then try to do some weird like my mom was a whatever killed by the fucking demon, the black demon, and then now blah blah. And then you're also doing that like in the middle of the story, like just I don't know, like 50 chapters in or whatever. It's probably better than that than just doing this, and that everybody kind of is on the same page. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and then obviously, and then there's obviously like this shot too, where Shiki brings out his fucking AR-15 with grenade launcher attachment.
It's so fucking dumb, man. I love the concept of like I have blood powers and I can summon like constructs with blood. I'm gonna summon a gun. It's just like
they pretty much establish that like
it's like Green Lantern.
It's like so dumb. I fucking love it.
Yeah, and they pretty much establish that you can do just about anything with it too. Like the powers are pretty much endless. Like let me see if I can find as well like his berserk form from yeah, pretty much. It's just like yes, like this timestamp in episode 1. Like again, like the berserk powers and stuff, and it's like this whole series is unabashedly like just shonen slop nonsense with like blood powers and just like what the fuck else can we do about? Which is fine, to be honest. Like, I think like a series like this is fine. Like a series like this leveraging like CG and like goofy ass designs, and it's not bad. Like again, like I don't think any of the action has been particularly bad. Like it's not like Studio.
Is this
Orange.
12 episodes? Is this 12 episodes?
Yeah, this is gonna be, I believe,
Jesus
12.
Christ. How much money are they getting for this? Okay.
And yeah, like it's kind of impressive that a studio like this just kind of was like, yeah, we're gonna pull out some pretty solid CG.
What's the name for this?
Actually,
again?
I'm sorry. Episode count is completely unknown according to Mal, so who knows how many we'll get.
It's probably 12.
Probably 12 though.
But this might be honestly
the studio
like I feel like this is the wait this is Studio Hibari? Okay. Is it Studio Hibari relatively okay, so Studio Hibari.
They're pretty small, I think.
They're pretty. They're pretty smaller in size, but they've been in the industry for a while.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
old for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Oh, I
remember.
should say too. This is a directorial debut, which is kind of sick. Like,
Really.
yeah.
But yeah, I
So
remember
that's also
Studio
kind of
Hibari
impressive.
was the studio that was originally planned to do the Hoseki no Kuni anime, but they fell through, I guess.
Mhm.
Um,
I think they also have part of. Okay, so they also own so yeah, they also own Lure Chase. So I think that's part of where their strength comes from. And most of their stuff was done, I think, like under Lure Chase for the longest time.
Yeah.
Except for like specifically this, and then apparently a series called High Card before. But yeah, very interesting. I think the Lure Chase part probably explains a little bit more of like where they suddenly managed to be like, hey, by the way, animation stuff. But it's
Yeah,
still
for
good
sure.
that like a studio is really, again, they're constantly pushing the limits properly instead of just being like, yeah, you guys are gonna like these square cars.
Yeah. Like that's the thing too. It's like the character models ain't bad. You know, you get peak images like
Yeah.
what I just linked. You know, peak shots like like that. But it's like, yeah, it's very impressive to see a studio be like, we're gonna do CG, we're gonna leverage it, but we're also going to do it well enough to where you're like, oh, weird, like this is CG, but then the action scenes play out how you would expect, like a normal,
Yeah.
conventional series. And
And
also
this
the
is
blending, the blending use between like, you know, animating with CG, the like the blood and the blood weapons on top of two characters that are being 2D animated too is quite cool.
Yeah. And also this is like part of what I think I mentioned, starting from years ago, right? Where I talked about, I think the um the first kind of, or one of several kind of turning points, right? One is obviously the digitalization, right, of the industry, of stuff like the manga industry, so on, right? Second is, I think eventually there will be some, come to Jesus moment in terms of the industry potentially getting crushed by the weight of all its like mergers and acquisitions, plus like bankruptcies. And the third sort of breaking critical point is this sort of thing happening, right? With studios that are not just all owned by Kodaca, but SI Games, but rather studios, sort of kind of outside of that network that are developing these technologies in-house, but eventually, obviously, I think a lot of these will end up being more widespread knowledge, right? And this widespread knowledge is going to lead into a bunch of smaller and smaller studios, I think eventually being like, okay, like we're going to do this and create awesome freaking anime, and we can start competing with just huge brands like Production IG. So I think this is a very good step in the right direction, probably.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, like I linked another one. Like a lot of like the back and forth between the CG and 2D is like I think done like pretty well for what it is. And again, like I think my biggest praise of this series is that it's just like kind of unabashedly like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Like no faff, no like bullshit. Like this is probably not gonna be like the longest series in the world. Like fuck it. Like here's a bunch of here's a bunch of Oni powers. Here's a bunch of blood, and they fight.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
shoot, and they
exactly.
make swords. So, yeah, I think it's pretty solid for that reason.
Mm. Pretty good, pretty good. What Mal rating would you give it?
I think the Mal rating it's sitting at is okay. I mean, I would give it like a true like I would say it's like a 6, like a true like 6. Because I
Huh,
was
okay.
like the story and everything's like not engaging whatsoever. But it's like
Yeah, you're just kind of watching it
but like
for.
like a 6 or a 7 or something like that is like fine. Like
Mhm.
fine. Like I would recommend this. Like if you're someone who's like, you know what, I just want to see like stupid battle bullshit. Like I just want to see
Yeah.
battle shit. I want to see like pretty cool scenes. I want to see cool powers get introduced, and then I want to be done, and that's it. Like I want to
Mhm.
have my fucking popcorn. And I want to go. I would
yeah,
say like
exactly.
I would recommend it for sure. Like,
Mhm.
so which is why like I would give it
I
like a
almost thought
7.
you would recommend. I almost thought you would score it higher, to be honest, because probably it sounds like within its
Uh,
wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna really score it that much higher just because it's like I would say like obviously it's like the CG and stuff like the budget still shows, but it's like
I
not
see. I see.
And
terrible.
at the end of the day,
It's pretty
it is still
solid.
it is still slop.
Yeah, it's still slop.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
So
like I would also recommend for the same people who want that type of stuff too. It's like I would recommend something like Kaiju number 8, right? But that I'd give
Mhm.
like an 8 or a 9 because budget is insane and I think its story is really fun and its characters
Yeah,
are like,
yeah, yeah,
engaging. But like this,
yeah.
I think sitting at like a 6 or 7 for that type of stuff, it's like yeah. Yeah, I think it's really
Okay,
I think
I
it's
see.
really solid.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, pretty good. Any last words?
Um yeah, I kind of hope that I hope we do see more studio like leverage CG in the same way and actually use it well and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of obviously people who can very competently like animate in 3D. So yeah,
Yeah, this
that's
is
very
sort
nice
of
to see.
their kind of like side games or Studio Orange mode where they're like, hey, this is almost not really a proof of concept of series that we can do right now. And like it's fucking blowing out everybody, blowing everybody out of the water in terms of like the visual quality, or in terms of like the
How they
potential visual quality.
yeah, see that's the other thing too. I'd love to see what this studio then can also pull off with an even bigger budget. Like I think that's what I want to see next too. Like something even bigger, something even crazier, right? Because it's like
Mm.
if you do this with what is probably like a relatively smaller budget series, then what the hell can they pull off if they have like a ton of budget and like even more time? And also just the people who they have there now also building up their skills even more now over the years will be really cool to see. Obviously,
Mhm.
like this is like almost one of their earlier series as a quote unquote like a stepping off point is starting really high. I'd consider it at least.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree, and it's like, yeah, I hope again this serves as I hope this serves as an example. Obviously, Studio, we hope kind of that would happen. This would happen with like Studio Orange, but and to a certain extent, it was like, oh yeah, there are some people that are trying harder, but I feel like I hope more of this becomes a better trend. I hope this becomes much more of a trend than fucking AI using fucking generative AI or whatever. God, it's just like
Yeah, because it's also like I mean, I guess my like comment would be like, the way I like to see it too is like we would never be in a world where Studio Orange would be like the baseline, right? For
yeah,
CG anime. That is never gonna fucking happen.
yeah.
But if something like this became like the standard, we would be in a much better place than we are right now with like the state of
At
how a
least
lot
if
of
it's
studios
like something that people
handle CG.
constantly like were incentivized to aim for, instead of being like, oh yeah, well, whatever, man, just make the next fucking sequel, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, or it's
Yeah,
like, like if we got some like, fucking what do you call it, like One Punch Man season 2 status shit where it's just like how the fuck did you even
yeah,
do this? Like
yeah.
this is like this is atrocious. But but yeah, like something like I think if this was the standard, we'd be in like a much better place as far as like how CG's used and leveraged.
Yeah,
We
sure.
can hope.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dark. This was Tougen Anki. I believe is this an anime original? I believe, or is this manga?
This is a manga original.
Yeah, this is a manga
As a
original.
matter of
Yes.
fact.
Yes. So this is a manga original adapted into an anime, a pretty good one by a studio Hibari, and they are doing kind of under their own names instead of using Lerche as one of their sister kind of animation, or not sister, instead of one of their subsidiary companies, right? So if you want to watch cool stuff, like really cool stuff just happening all over the screen, and some pretty good top of the line CG technology, CG blending technology. Please do check this out. And last here we have Nier. What do you have for us?
So I watched Hotel Inhumans.
Yes, Inhumans, I believe, was one of those series that we kind of were anticipating quite well, a lot in the preview show, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So this is by Studio Bridge. They did, what is this? Pharmagia, which I think someone covered. I forget if it was you, Spire, or if it was Toast.
Pharmagia. I think I might have covered Pharmagia. I know I think I did. I think
No,
I covered.
I don't think anyone. No one covered this. No, 1,000,000% covered this. Nope.
Okay.
This was something we talked about in the preview.
Right.
I saw. I think so. They did the new Shaman King. They did Talentless Nana, which was, I think, somebody definitely covered. They did. They did Mitsutomoe. What the hell? But yeah, they did a bunch of like weird stuff. Oh, they did that one like Muhyo and Ryuji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation or whatever, right? The one that we kept clowning on, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they've been around for a bit. Pretty small studio, it seems like. They kind of seem to pop their head up every once in a while. I'm assuming they're probably a assistant production studio for the most part in terms of keeping the lights on. But yeah, this is Studio Bridge main production. This is a web manga original. As for the cast, I didn't really look too deep into this. Director Tetsuro Amino, done. A lot of storyboarding. This might be. Is this his directorial debut? Oh no. It seems like he's done. What the is this? Okay. He's done some directing on some. It seems like more like kids shonen stuff.
Yeah, and he's kind of bringing in similar people
well.
where it's like again his partner in crime, right? Yonemura Shoji, who's doing the series composition and scripting, is also kind of more on the shonen / like kids stuff, fairy tale stuff, a little bit of, I think, Pokemon, Anpan Man, stuff like that. Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh here and there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Other than that, I think the only other really, I think, kind of noteworthy staff here is the music, which is, I guess, Koharu. Doesn't seem like they're credited on really much else, but the music in the series is pretty good. Yeah, the basic premise for this is it's a pretty much purely episodic series about a hotel that's run in sort of the perspective of two concierges for this series, and the hotel, which seems to be a relatively normal hotel, but they also double as sort of a hotel that assists with and helps out the sort of criminal underbelly, specifically in regards to hired killers, assassins, stuff like that. And the structure of the series is sort of 3 to 4 episode mini arcs that focus on one person. And the general theme is the idea of humanizing the inhuman, right?
What do you mean by that?
So we have our two main characters here. The female lead is Sarah Haizaki, and she's sort of a cool, calm, collected sort of, I don't necessarily want to say jaded, but she's, emotionally cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of focused on, just doing her duty as a concierge, and sort of being, you know, um, just doing her job, right? And then you have the male lead, which has a bit more focus, at least so far, anyway. Which is Ikuro Hoshi, and he hates his job. He hates working here. He hates people that kill for money. He hates the sight of blood. And he, as the series sort of goes on, it seems to be sort of him realizing that even though these people are killers, even though they kill for money, most of these people they have a reason for doing so, right? Whether that's protecting the people they love, or they've put into circumstances where they don't really have any other choice, stuff like that. And the series kind of explores that kind of the why of what they're doing, and sort of exploring who the person is outside of the job, right? The assassin job. And so it's not really
So
like a
this is
series
mainly
about-
it's not like an expanding, is it it's an expanding cast, I guess, though,
No.
right? No, it's not an
no.
expanding
It's
cast though, right?
the arcs are pretty isolated.
Okay.
There's a little bit of character development here and there with the two leads, but in terms of like the cast, it's like the only persistent cast so far, anyway. There might be an addition here and there, but it seems like the only persistent cast is the two concierge, and it's mostly about them helping out the guests. And once the guest arc is over, they're gone, basically, right? They move on the story. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more like, it's a very interesting variation of the whole, again, like Journey series, or it's, I guess, the good version of you were the one who covered the I Know Identity or whatever, right? AI No Identity,
yes,
or
yes.
Idenshi or whatever it was,
Yeah,
the whole like genetic whatever the fuck, right, thing. It's like the good version of that, right?
It's a better version of that, I'll say.
Okay.
Because I do think this series has some issues for sure. But yeah, it's it's kind of, I think I made sort of this comparison, but fuck, I forget its name every time. The fucking the afterlife bartender thing, where the MC had like the white hair. It's pretty popular. I always forget the name.
Wait, which one?
The Death Parade, is that it?
Yeah, Death Parade, yes.
Yes. It's kind of like that, where it's like taking a character and they're sort of kind of emotionally trauma dumping, and then the characters are like, oh, it's okay, we'll help you out. It's kind of one of those, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But instead of doing like going full into the death game, it's more just like there's just some other like events happening, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like the first arc is this killer that's sort of, he was adopted as a kid by this gang, basically, like effectively like a Yakuza gang, and was forced to become a killer. And the way they forced him to be a killer is they held his younger sister hostage, basically, right? And they were like, if you can like keep doing your job long enough for your sister to turn 20 years old, we'll let you go, right? And apparently, like the day of, the old man that adopted him like died, right? And so the younger like heir, I guess, took over and betrayed him, basically. And so he goes to the hotel for like refuge, and he's like, help me get my sister back, right? Like they betrayed me, help me get my sister back. And I guess one of the rules of the hotel is that the concierges, like, they can't say no, basically, right? Like if somebody makes a request of them, like they have to help, basically.
Okay.
And so the arc sort of goes through, and it's like, because the first arc is pretty short. I think it's only 1 or 2 episodes. But they kind of lure the new boss into the hotel, and they sort of, beat up his goons, and they interrogate him, and they're like, "Where's the sister, right? Like, why'd you betray him?" Stuff like that. And at the end of it, it's like, yeah, the sister was killed, right? Like they killed her. But it's revealed like later on that while she was held hostage, she had like a secret family and a daughter. And then when the assassin dude goes to his sister's grave, finds the daughter, and it's like a sort of bittersweet kind of ending, right? And so far, the arcs have kind of followed that general, like, bittersweet tone, where it's like, someone who has
Yeah,
done
that's how
bad.
it usually is. Yeah.
Yeah, someone who has done bad, but isn't necessarily, entirely a bad person. Regardless of the fact, they still get some sort of, karmic punishment, but there's like a silver lining to it, right? There's some sort of, emotional catharsis there. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. I think the first 2 arcs are they're pretty good. The characters in them are they're likable. I think the third one that it's on right now, that's kind of in the middle of, I'm not really fucking with. The character that it's focusing on is kind of just like really boring. Her motivations are kind of like really not that interesting. So yeah. But yeah, that's kind of just like the basic gist of it. The story's not bad at all in my opinion, but I do think it kind of suffers a little bit from being so disconnected. Like the arcs are kind of just like they're very isolated, right? And obviously the concierges are gonna like grow.
What do you mean
a
by
little
that?
bit.
Because it's like, what do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, I just feel like the arcs kind of like start and end, and it's like they're good at a sort of like a self-contained story.
uh-huh.
But I feel like there's really no like once the arc is over, it's like there's no callback to it at all, right? It's like
Would you like a callback
obviously
in terms of like character development, or what's going on here?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be constantly happening, but it would have been nice because the first arc is pretty short. The second arc is pretty good and focused on the male dude, and then the third arc so far seems to be focused more on the female concierge, right? So, granted, there hasn't necessarily been enough time to like go back to the male dude and see if he has, his attitudes have changed or progressed, or, he'll sort of go through another arc and he'll go, oh, this kind of reminds me of that other dude that I was, helping out. But to me, it kind of feels like, start, end, move on, and it's almost like, it's almost like a completely indeterminate amount of time has passed, and they feel like blocks, you know what I mean, and not necessarily like a sort of, I guess, continuous influx of new clients that they have to deal with. You know what I mean?
In a sense, though, it don't like most kind of, and I say again, kind of going back to like journey variants, right? Stuff like Mazu no Tabi Tabi, stuff like.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree, and I get what you're saying. I know where you're going with this, but I generally cannot put this into like specific, concise words. But this one just feels more isolated. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's probably like what's happening is like, how do I say this? It feels like, so it's like, my guess, I'm trying to like analyze, or rather I'm trying to put it into words like similar as to what you're trying to do, and I feel like what's happening is like the happenings are big, relatively big, right? But like the context and the environment and the setup, like the physical setup, right, is quote unquote too small. Because if it was like, for instance, like if it was like Apocalypse Hotel or something like that, right? Where yeah, like still there are like things happening, but it's like it feels like the events are consummate with their or corresponding with their environment, right? So it's kind of like it feels like a natural flow of things, right? A lot of the journey stories, right? Again, something like Kingdom Tabi, Majin Tabi Tabi, stuff like that. Even to a lesser extent, Spice and Wolf, although Spice and Wolf is a little bit more continuous, they have these big things happening, but the characters are also taking like journeys like way away. So it's like, let's say something happens in a village, right? Afterwards, they're just like, hey, I'm going away from this village, like forever. Like I am going 50 million miles away from this village into a kingdom or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But in this one, what's happening is there's a big thing and it feels like there should be some impact, but then they're just gonna go back into the hotel. So it's like, kind of thing. I think that's maybe what's happening. My guess.
Maybe. But yeah, it's not like the biggest knock against this series. It is just a slight incongruence I've noticed that I was kind of just like, this feels odd. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not really something that I can really nail down and my finger on, but it has an odd, somewhat awkward feeling to it. But yeah, like I said, the first two arcs I enjoyed. I think they're pretty good. The third one, I'm not really fucking with too much. So I imagine this is probably going to be like a series of relative hit or misses. You know, not all these sort of journey series can have constant, you know, good little arcs, right?
Right.
Sometimes they do, but yeah. In terms of audio visuals, they're pretty standard. They're pretty serviceable. The color palette is standard. It's pretty normal. The motions are decent. There's not really any like action in this series, which is might come as a bit of a surprise considering it's dealing with like, you know, killers and assassins and stuff. There is an action sequence in episode 1. Well, there's a few action sequences, but like in terms of like when it's usually showing these, you know, assassins doing their job, it kind of just cuts away at like the killing shot or whatever.
Is there gore? Is there any gore or no?
There's blood, but it's not like a it's not like a
it's not like Tougen Anki.
You know what I mean?
It's not like Tougen Anki.
It's not like it's showing somebody getting domed, right?
Yeah.
It isn't shy about like, yeah, this guy just got fucking stabbed. You know what I mean? Like they're bleeding. There's blood.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, you're not gonna see somebody get domed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's not really like actions. It's usually like, in terms of an assassination, it's like
silhouettes.
A guy walks into a room, shoots a guy, walks out of the room. You know, it's
okay. I see.
Calm, cool, collected kind of stuff.
Indirect. There's no like direct. Oh, I'm punching you face, as you said. Like it's more like indirect. Like you're seeing one person or the other usually.
Yeah, there is like I said, the first episode is a bit more actiony because it's like he got betrayed. You know, he's getting chased down. There's like a car chase. There's a couple explosions. There's like the fight in the hotel, but it's not like, it's very kind of like, you know, character runs at another character, they swing their arm, it cuts to black, there's like the knife, shiny swish, and then it's like the character's like down on the ground. You know, it's kind of old school that way. So it's not really got the Sakooks going on, but it does its job. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
You know,
without being distasteful necessarily.
Yeah, it's not like it's fucking incoherent or like impossible to follow. Yeah, I think it looks decent. The general color palette is you know, it's sort of grimy when it needs to be, warm when it needs to be. Strikes a good balance, I think. But yeah, the audio visuals are very serviceable. The OP
is Mr. Moonlight by Imase. I like the track quite a bit. It's sort of this snappy kind of funk, you know, jazzy kind of thing. The visuals are pretty standard. They do the job well. The ED is Merry Go Round by Noah. The track is nice enough. The ED visuals are pretty lazy because they do this thing where it's like they change every episode. They sort of they do either like a montage of like what happened in the arc, or they kind of like fill in gaps of something that necessarily might have happened
what the fuck?
but wasn't
Okay.
entirely shown within the episode itself.
Uh-huh.
But it is effectively like stills. So not the best visuals on the ED, but
Exactly.
you know, the voice cast is pretty good. The two leads, the male lead is done by Yusuke Kobayashi, who's one of the many Mr. Protagonist mans. He's famously Subaru from ReZero. He's doing a pretty standard MC role here. He's doing a kind of sort of, he's kind of a nerdy character, so you kind of know what to expect from his voice in terms of that regard. Sarah is voiced by Hinano Shirahama. She's, from what I can understand, pretty much a complete newcomer to the anime industry. I don't know if she has any like video game roles. Maybe she's got like some mobile game roles or something. But she seems like a pretty much complete newcomer, from what I can tell. And she does a decent job. Again, she's doing a very sort of cold, emotionally.
Yeah, apparently this is her
distant.
first. This is her first named role and her first main role as well. Like period. So
yeah, she does a pretty good job. There is a bit of sort of comedic banter between the two because it's like the whole idea of them being so like polarly opposite. And she kind of plays these sort of, do your fucking job kind of thing, and then Ikuto is kind of the more energetic, overreacting kind of guy. Yeah, she's pretty good in this, I think. And then the other characters. I mean, there's not any like super. I don't think there's any like super big names in here because again, a lot of them don't really have like a lot of screen time. But they do pretty good jobs. I will. The one I do kind of want to shout out is Seiichiro Yamashita. He does the sort of focus of the second arc, and he's like this like hyper autistic, like super perfectionist guy. That's like he's like a like calm, cool, collected trained killer dude that has to do everything. Like everything has to go according to plan, basically. But he's like this sort of twist with him is he's got this wife who's like super like lovey-dovey and like energetic, and he's like constantly like monotone and cool and collected, and she's like the only person like he's ever met that's able to sort of rattle him and like take him by surprise. And there's some really cute sort of back and forth that they do in their little arc.
Right, the dialogue.
Yeah, I think he does a really good job with that kind of role. But yeah, I don't have a super lot to say about this. It is kind of just it's a hotel series, right? We've had a surprisingly condensed sort of stint of these. Kind of starting with Tasakata Hotel, and then we had Apocalypse Hotel, and now we have Hotel Inhumans.
I think what's also happening, I mean, there have been also these sorts of series that have been kind of bubbling up, especially in the manga world for a decent amount, right? And I think what authors are kind of finding out is like, I kind of rail on obviously isekai authors for doing like high fantasy stuff because they're being lazy, but I think for this, it's sort of like a more decent variant of this quote unquote laziness where in a journey series, right, where one character is seeing many people, or a set of characters is seeing many people throughout the episodes, right? What happens is that in a journey series, they have to the author constantly has to make these fucking
Yeah,
worlds, right?
you have to come up with new locations and
Yeah. And you're like, God
cultures
damn
and
it.
towns and people. And
Yeah.
for these hotel series, it's very much like the characters come to
Them. Yeah, exactly.
the main characters, right? Like the
Yeah.
quirky characters are coming to the main character, and so you kind of only
Mm.
have to write the characters, and
Yeah.
less so the setting.
Yeah, you only have to write as
potential.
much of the setting as they want to do, like exposition,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think.
So yeah, it makes sense that we're seeing a bit more of these, because again, there are a few of these out there, and a good few of these manga are pretty popular. But yeah, it is just kind of funny that we're seeing them kind of back to back in a way. But yeah, I guess I would say in regards to that, in terms of like this sort of trio of hotel series that we have, I'd probably say this one might be, and again, this is pretty early, but this one
Mhm.
might be the weakest start, I'd say. I
Mm.
do think there's potential for this to get better, whereas when I covered something like, say, Tasukade Hotel, I think the start was really good, and then as it went on, I think it got rockier for me. I think
What
the
about
start.
Apocalypse Hotel?
I think Apocalypse Hotel was like great.
Yeah, all the way throughout.
It was
Yeah.
like good throughout. I think Apocalypse Hotel was really fucking good. But I think with this one, it's like not the greatest start. Like it's not really an explosive start. It's a pretty like you kind of know what you're getting into kind of thing. But I think this one is kind of easier to read. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
It feels like it's going to develop into something really good. Like it'll mature into something.
Yeah, either it'll get good, like it'll get really good, or it'll remain relatively
Yeah.
standard, right?
Yeah.
Like not necessarily bad, just
Okay.
like a known quantity kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll necessarily dip. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of just my general opinions of it. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily amazing. The setting is pretty interesting. The characters are so far they are pretty good. I do like the two leads. I do like the first two arcs quite a lot. But yeah, I do think it's a fairly reserved series. I think like it's not. I don't know if this is really going to try to branch out into anything super ambitious. But if this kind of thing is up your alley, if you like Tasukade Hotel, if you liked Apocalypse Hotel, you'll probably like this. I don't think it will necessarily reach those highs, but it's inoffensive for sure. Yeah, I don't have the highest praise for it, but I enjoyed my time with it, I'll say. But yeah.
All right, seems great. What would you rate it?
Right now it's sitting at a 6.5 on Mall. Which for Mall is pretty low, I think. Which
Yeah. Especially since something that has like an okay premise like this.
yeah. I'm not 100% sure why Mall might necessarily be down on it, but I think 6.5 is kind of fair. I might bump it up to a 7 depending on if it gets a little bit more consistent like as it goes on. But yeah, I think 6.5 is fair. Although I'm giving it like an actual 6.5 instead of a Mall 6.5.
Yeah, Mall 6.5 is
because a
just
Mall
like...
6.5 is like a 4.
Yeah.
But like I think 6.5 in terms of like slightly above average. It's not like Yeah, I think 6.5 is fair.
Yeah,
is probably
essentially
what
like
I'd give it.
6.5 is like people are already kind of like souring on it, like or iffy on it. And then 7 is like kind of like, oh, I guess this is an anime that won't watch that's like comfy. And then like 7.5 plus is like they're starting to suck its dick, essentially. Now that's how it works. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Nier. Again, this was Hotel Inhumans. I know we've had a lot of hotel series, but until we notice that the artists, like again, as I've said always, even the isekai stuff like that isn't necessarily like it's a blank box, right? It's a blank sheet of paper, blank canvas that people can write on, and it's not necessarily bad by itself. But once people become really lazy with it, that's another thing. I don't think Hotel Recipe has gotten that. The authors in it have not gotten that lazy yet, but this Hotel Humans manga again also has the potential to bloom, to burst out of its chrysalis like a beautiful butterfly. But it is a manga original anime adapted by, I believe you said it was Studio Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Studio Bridge. And if you want to kind of, go watch a variant of sort of this like journey, sort of introspecting, right? Exposition, kind of introspecting, and like think dialoguing about various like happenings, events, life stories, trauma, stuff like that. And Nier said similar to Death Parade in a sense, and kind of mulling about that, and having that again be in a context that's similar to something like a Tasukari Hotel, or maybe in like a journey series like Majou no Tabi Tabi. Please do check this out. All right, and now we're going to go on to the news real quick. We have some actually pretty interesting news of the, there's like some freaking company news as usual, but there's a lot of interesting other stuff as well. Where first, on the Korean webtoon side, Naver Webtoon announced on Friday that it has officially suspended the long-running sports webtoon series Windbreaker. Again, this is not to be confused with Satoru Nii's manga of the same name, because the author behind Windbreaker has been alleged to use tracings, so using near identical reproductions of images from other works. So,
this one's different from the one that Mappa's doing, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
this is a totally
that one is the fighting thing. I think this Windbreaker, I don't know what this comic books webcomic series is about, but anyways, yeah, he has apparently been accused of tracing. Apparently, it's enough. There was enough evidence for him to end up making a public apology. Although obviously, it's still not a very forgivable thing to do, especially as an actual artist, right? But yeah, so it has been suspended. And also on recent like company news, Kodansha, I believe, has if I can get this thing to open up properly. The Anime News Network is not working. In before Kataka or like Anime News Network is also caught up in a cybersecurity attack. But yeah, essentially, there's a Russian company, IQ Art Management, that had been using a lot of like different licensings for related to what Kodansha did, and so Kodansha obviously sued them and then won the copyright infringement awards. Yeah. So IQ had to pay about $48,000 in damages and about $333 in legal fees for copyright infringement of 15 of the 18 works that they were messing around with, essentially. The IQ had, apparently IQ held a paid event in St. Petersburg, Russia from April to October 2023. The event featured 18 exhibited works, such as Attack on Titan, without Kodansha's authorization.
Nice.
So, Naver Webtoon also launched its consumer goods division because because why not? Yeah, I mean, Naver Webtoon is like the big dog on the blog in terms of webtoons now. So they're obviously branching out into other things, similar to what Crunchyroll did, right? So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's see this Blue Lock creator, Kaneshiro Muneyuki, as well as anime producer, I believe also for Blue Lock Anime, Kimura Makoto, announced on Tuesday that they have established a new media production company called Chimera Club.
Wow.
So, production company. Yeah, well, this has been the trend for obviously years and years and years now. But I think this has been especially prominent in the last couple of decades, right? Well, I want to say 10, 20 years, right? Or in the last decade or so, even, as more and more names, like specifically in the anime industry, have become famous. Not just famous to insiders or like people in the industry, but like actually like celebrity status, right? Almost into the mainstream or like into the anime crowd. A couple of famous examples obviously are Studio Bind or Studio Egg, right? Egg Firm, right? Egg Firm was created by the Kadokawa editor, who was the editor in charge for like Index and stuff like that, right? And Oreimo, I believe, Sword Art Online artists and stuff like that. They created Egg Firm, and obviously they use their connections to just get all these things going. Similar to, I think Fukuyama Jun, right, had created his own like idol, or sorry, not idol, voice acting agency. Although these days, Seiyu are like close to idols, anyways. And now stuff like this, right, where you have people creating these media companies out of these connections, and because they have like the celebrity status to like pull other people in. So, we'll see how it goes. I believe Makoto Kimura, Makoto Kimura was part of MAPPA before this as well. So, so we'll see what happens with that. And then the depressing part here, depressing part of company news. Real Coffee Entertainment revealed the trailer video and the August 29th debut of Generatoscope, a full-length original omnibus movie project completely made with generative AI on Friday. The film will screen at the Uplink Kichijoji Cinema in Tokyo. The film was bruh. The fucking have you seen? Did you see the poster art? The top poster art literally just looks like
Every
Belle.
single AI image.
Yep.
It looks like Belle, like the movie, right?
Have you seen the fucking trailer, bro?
Oh my fucking god! God damn it! Real blah blah.
Bro,
Yeah, literally everything is used.
It's got like the AI text to speech voice narrator too. Like,
bro, it like the first part, Asa or whatever,
bad,
the one that looks like Belle, it literally looks like just one of those generic city pop or like lo-fi city pop whatever background things. It's so not
God.
Yeah,
good.
it's like literally.
They're gonna
like,
show this in like, oh my god, man.
I feel like my brain cells are dying just like by watching this and like reading the descriptions. It's actually that bad.
It's actually like so frustrating. That,
I mean,
like,
honestly,
this shit gets money.
I'm
Like,
okay
what
with them showing this because I feel like the more people that see this, the more they're gonna realize, wait a minute, this
Wow,
is
this looks
dog
like shit, huh?
I'm just glad that the one thing I'm just glad is that the what is it? What was it called? I keep forgetting. The monkey images that was connected to, what was it? It's like the fucking like crypto whatever guys, right? That bought like the monkey images. Those guys, I'm just glad that those guys are not like as big as they were before, and just because they would be hopping all over this generative AI movie shit. So
I think a lot of them have. I think a lot of them do hop on.
yeah, they just don't show off their monkey images anymore
Yeah.
as much, right? Yeah. Fucking. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say. We've already said what we usually do about this sort of shit. Slop.
Yep.
So anyways, a couple other pieces of news, including a couple pieces of news that I usually don't cover, but I do want to cover them maybe a little bit. But first, so Gigo Akihabara 1, number 1. So this was like, if you guys have ever been to Akihabara or seen pictures of Akihabara, there's just like one big red arcade building like in the middle of the block, and that's like one of the major like corners alley that leads to like one of the alleyways and stuff like that of Akihabara, where all the anime shops and stuff like that are. That arcade is, I believe, closing down now. I believe it is being taken over or like at least rebranded or something similar, stuff like that. It closes, and then I believe a different company will take over, and they'll probably keep most of the arcade cabinets, but it is still a chunk of history lost, I think, because Giga Akihabara was such a signature kind of part of Akihabara for so long. So, but it is, it is arcades, right? So a lot of them are kind of being changed over to the usual stuff, right? Crane games, more crane games, and then the upper stores are just horse racing digitally. That's literally what most arcades are now. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Or pachinko machines upstairs, right?
Yeah.
So very unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Dark and I were
yeah.
talking about this a couple days ago. I think yesterday, a couple days ago. I don't remember, but it was kind of just like us talking about how a lot of these arcades and shit are kind of shutting down recently, and it's kind of interesting how Japan sort of has this image that it tries to maintain, where it's like we're all about protecting our culture, and we want people to see our culture, and we're not afraid of the anime industry, and how it's bloomed into this big massive thing, and we want to celebrate that, and yet the government doesn't really do anything to protect these pretty big, like effectively cultural.
Landmarks.
Like
at
these
this
are
point.
like these are
there's
like the
Right.
cultural landmarks in terms of
35-year-old arcade.
Yes, sir.
yeah, and they're also pretty big tourist destinations as well. So it is kind of interesting how the Japanese government doesn't really seem to give a fuck about these businesses that they might not be generating the biggest amount of revenue, right? Obviously, they're shutting down. But they're still pretty important to, the culture of Japan, the culture of Akihabara for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're tourist spots, right? Like the buildings like this, like bring revenue to other places in Akihabara. So it is very unfortunate.
And they're instead of that, they're also like, because part of also what's been going on in Akihabara and has gotten more notice in the news recently is the sort of reconstruction efforts. Not even reconstruction, but it's like they're closing down a bunch of buildings, like again the Gigo arcades and stuff like that. Near, I think, the Tobu Bridge, Chuosobu Line Bridge area, and kind of just putting a bunch of corporate buildings on it and making a lot more like, again, like what you would see in Shibuya or Shinjuku, where it's just like, yeah, here are just more like mall places, I guess. And it's like, no, like that's not really what people want, because if they just wanted that, they wouldn't be in Akiba, right? They would just be in Shibuya or Shinjuku or wherever, or Omotesando, wherever, right? So it's very unfortunate. But yeah, so that's that. And then I guess one other piece of news, again, before I just go on to two pieces of people news real quick, is Kataka released a statement on Wednesday regarding recent reports of illustrator Gao allegedly admitting to engaging in sexual acts with a minor during a live stream program in Japan. So I believe Gao is the illustrator for Kosuke Mato's I May Be a Guild Receptionist, the one that Dark hates the anime for. So the illustrator apparently...
I knew there was another reason.
Yeah, he just smelt it from like 1 month. Like he literally time traveled to here. He got that whiff. But a person claiming to be Gao allegedly admitted during a live stream program in Japan on June 29th to engaging in sexual acts with a minor. And the alleged victim says she was 14 when the incident occurred. She is now 17. She also stated that she met with him again earlier this year when she was 17. They started dating, then recently stopped dating, blah, 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 blah. So,
this is the illustrator?
this is the victim, apparently speaking. The alleged victim stated
like
during the live.
the illustrator is the one that did this, right?
Yes. Had the date and had sexual acts with this person who was like 14 to 17 or whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah. don't do that. Don't do these things, please. But two other pieces of news here. Production IG announced on Friday that it has appointed anime director Ano Hideaki as a member of its company board of directors. So that's two board of directors.
About directing?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Ano is already the founder and president of Studio Kara, which also confirmed the announcement. So he's going to be. I mean, this is honestly what happens with like a lot of CEOs and like kind of bigwigs, right? So what happens is after they become kind of CEOs, or even during their CEOs, or after they kind of retire and stuff like that, they kind of join onto a bunch of like board of directors as just like advisors. Although they don't necessarily advise as much, depending on what they actually do. But they just go onto board of directors, and then they're like, or they suggest to other people, hey, you need consulting services, right? Just hire me on your board of directors, and then they get free money from it. That's literally what happens.
Yeah, how do I get one of those?
Mr. Ano, what should we do?
Yeah, and he's just gonna be like,
I think you should make more anime. I think you should.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, maybe more robots.
Maybe an anime series would be good. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, exactly. What about kaiju? We haven't done that.
I think you should make a series about a girl.
Yeah.
I think she fights. Stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe in a giant robot.
Yeah. What if the robot, like, what if every time the robot got hurt, like the people inside got hurt too? Like me.
I think you might be onto something there.
But yeah, again, this is very standard for those of you who don't know. I mean, like, obviously Hideaki Anno, nobody's saying that Anno Hideaki is not special. He is a special person. Obviously, Production IG and their works and stuff like that are all special. And him doing Evangelion is special. But that being said, this is a very standard course of like what happens to people up top.
I mean, it's also like he's not going to be reshaping the way Production IG like. Tackles their project.
He's just gonna be quote unquote consulting. Yeah.
He's just gonna be like, that greenlighting that's probably a good idea.
They're gonna be like,
sir, it's like the best anime. It's like,
should we? There's gonna be an email blast that goes out. What do you guys think about getting into the tomato business? And they're all gonna go, no.
The duty-free tomato business, and he's like, he gets PTSD.
Don't do that.
No.
God damn it. But yeah, but yeah, very standard. And obviously also on the other piece of, I guess, quote unquote, news that's positive news is the Will Eisner Comic Industry Awards inducted horror manga creator Ito Junji into the Will Eisner Comic Awards Hall of Fame on Friday. I thought they already did this, or was that just Osamu Tezuka? They took like Osamu Tezuka like 50 years ago, and then they're like, we should also probably do Ito Junji, right?
Maybe we should do another Japanese person. Maybe that one.
Yeah. But it's like they've made some like manga, so we should probably do like more than one of them. It's like I think what happened. Did what is it? Did Takashi Rumiko also receive this award yet? I forget. But oh yeah, okay. Osamu Tezuka. Let's see. Yeah, Takashi Rumiko also did it. Hagiomoto. Yeah. So we'll see. Toriyama Akira was nominated in 2019, but were not among the 4 selected. Damn, that's harsh.
That's crazy.
That's harshing the vibes. That is
crazy, bro.
Jesus Christ. They're like, we have like the horror guy and that draws the hole and the spiral's good, and then we have the other guy.
The guy that made one of the most influential series of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. But yeah, again, congratulations obviously to Ito Junji, and obviously well deserved. But yeah. Anyways, that was our news. And last but not least, we go into our
shoutouts and callouts. So everybody here gets one shout out and one call out. Shout out is one thing that you want to praise, rave about, 10 out of 10 stars. And it can be any one person, place, or thing. And call out is the exact opposite. You want to rant, give 0 out of 10 stars about something. And again, it can be any one person, place, or thing. And we start now with Nier.
I'm gonna shout out to Fate Grand Order. I think it's like either today or yesterday was the 10th anniversary in JP. Which is scary to think about. I don't like thinking about that. In terms of how long that's been, but it's cool. It's been pretty cool seeing a lot of the art. I think they had a Fate Fest for it. The art coming out of that has been really cool. Some of the celebration art. Some of the like anniversary. They do like anniversary CEs every year, and some of those have been really nice. It was like it was a really nice one of like Kindness, one of the servants in like all Japanese sort of get up that was really really cool. Yeah, just cool stuff. They just announced the new summer servants, which is pretty cool. Passion Lips finally getting a 5-star, which is like, you know,
Nice.
bravo stuff. But yeah, cool all around. As for callouts, I'm gonna call out FGO. Cause in NA, the summer event happened recently, and it was the release of Berserker Castoria, and I had about 980 Saint Quartz, which is a decent amount, right? It's enough. It's enough for a spark. And a spark in FGO is like 330 rolls, which is a lot. And I wanted to get her NP3, which, to be fair, I'm aiming kind of high there. I know that much. And it took me, I think, 350-ish quartz to get my first copy of her, which felt kind of bad. Because historically in FGO, I've been a crazy luck sack.
Right.
For context, literally the banner just before that, which was Ask, which is kind of like the Castoria version of Morgan, the Castoria equivalent of Morgan. I got her in 4 single rolls.
Jesus.
Which is crazy, right? Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So for me to have to go like 350 Saint Quartz deep for a single copy, like that's rough. But I was like, you know, I've still got some left, right? I could hit MP2, right? I literally had to spend every single Saint Quartz I have to get MP2. I was literally on my last single roll when I got her NP2, and it was just like, fuck me, man. I haven't had luck that bad in FGO in a very long time. I think the last time I had luck that bad was Summer Musashi, which was like I think like almost 3 years ago now. Yeah, it was just like, fuck me. Yeah. Hopefully I can that transfers into better luck in other gacha games, but that's Kobe on my. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nier. What about you, Dark?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out because I forgot to in my 2 weeks. I'm gonna shout out the movies Sinners and Thunderbolt. Those were both very fun movies, very good, and I think Sinners in particular was a perfect movie, really. So yeah, quick one
Good.
there.
And your
My
call out?
call out. I'm gonna call out video game founder packs and stuff like that, and timed exclusives. I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid. I think timed rewards and exclusives and shit in games are dumb. Don't really know how else to say it.
You're just jealous of my swag, bro.
Yeah, I mean there are plenty of the games I have that type of shit, and I'm just like, yeah, let people go earn it. If they had to download the files to be able to see my shit, let them go get it somehow. Make it equivalent.
Mhm.
And if it was a purchase, leave that purchase up. Who fucking cares? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that people are still getting hung up on the idea of like, oh, there's an exclusive. The founders pack for Warframe came with fucking Excalibur Prime, and it was you had to be there 12 years ago and pay like $200, and it's like,
How no?
what are we doing, man? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like people like, bro. In the last like 12 years, like people in my life died. Like, I don't fucking care if other people can buy. I don't have that pack, but I do have a different one that's exclusive in Warframe too, and it's like, yeah, man, I don't fucking care if other people can buy that shit. Like, I got more important stuff to go on, like going on than like I'm one of the few people who has this thing. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's literally like like these games have shit where it's like, or like the armor sets I have in World of Warcraft that I got like fucking 12 years ago. It's like, again, let other people earn it. Like, I don't fucking care, man. Like,
Yeah.
again, I
don't-
like playing WoW. I still like playing WoW.
Yeah.
I play WoW to play WoW at this point. Like, I
It's
I
like the
like
same.
playing.
It's like the same argument as like This is more like a society kind of thing. It's like, but it's like people can't have free tuition because then it will make the tuition I paid like
Yeah, it would make
Whoa.
it would make it would make my suffering invalid. It's like, well,
well.
I
we
got
should
more
aim.
important
I think we
shit
should
going
aim
on.
to. I think we should aim to reduce the amount of suffering in the world. Actually, not make it so everybody
Not
goes through
maintain
the
it
same
at
amount of
best.
suffering.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my
But
God.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. We can make people go through the same amount of suffering as like a Fortune 500 CEO. There you go.
True.
Okay, we'll give them that much suffering. But yeah, I don't know. I hate those. I don't like those packs. I don't like games and stuff where it's like, you know, I am an absolutist in that. I think if you download something, like if you're downloading something as part of a game, there should be a way for you to get it. Some way, somehow. But yeah, and I especially don't like paid packs because again, it's like that shit was 12 years ago, bro. Like people have
Yeah, I think,
literally
I
grown
think,
up
like,
in that time.
timed-
People have
Like
died.
timed paid packs is really silly because it's just like if it's paid, like if it's something you pay for, it should just be like it should just be a pack that's available always, right?
Yeah.
There's really no reason for it to be like, oh, this is a pack that you can only buy for X amount of time, and once it's gone, it's literally gone forever. And it's like, well, I mean, it's in the game. Are you telling me like there is like literally going to be a point in this game where like sub 1% of the player base has access to this thing that's in the game? Like it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, and again, I don't like. I think more people need to literally think of the time, and also, you know, not have the mentality of like a teenager anymore, where they're like, I got this exclusive thing in a game, and that's what really matters. And it's
That
like,
makes me cool. That makes me cool and awesome, actually.
like, yeah, you're gonna realize that years go by and no one gives a shit about you having that thing. That like, it does not matter at all. As a matter of fact, and I don't mean in the sense of like some grand like, oh, it doesn't really matter. It's like, no, literally no one's gonna ask you about it. Like no one's gonna fucking care. Like you get these exclusive rewards, and at the time you think like, yeah, that's cool. Like I can't wait to use this, and people are gonna be like, yo, you have that thing, that's crazy. And then like it's never gonna happen. I've literally been playing World of Warcraft for fucking 12 years, and it's not happened a single time. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's happened, well, maybe twice in fucking 12 years. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
and
one of
the
those things where
type of people who do that again are not. They're very like.
yeah, and at best it's literally someone goes like, "Oh wow, that's cool. You have that? Damn, man, that's sick."
Mhm,
And that's it.
exactly.
That's the only thing that happened like in 12 years. So it's like I don't know, man. I people need to get a perspective check of like you really got to think about what's happened in your lifetime in the amount of time that's passed that you have had this thing. And like has you having that thing mattered more even and again, even in some grandstanding thing like cuz like I brought up like yeah, like people have literally died. People have come into my life, come out of my life like in this time, but like I think even more importantly too, it's like if you're still keeping up with this like game, like has it really mattered that much to you in this time frame? It's like for me,
Yeah.
none of the shit that I have in any game has mattered to me that much in the time frame that like I've been playing that game. Right? Like it
Mhm.
hasn't mattered to me in Warframe, it hasn't mattered to me in World of Warcraft, like more than me just playing the game. Like you could literally delete these things from me and from my mind and I would think nothing of it. I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like obviously if you took it away from me, I'd be like, that's fucking crazy. But like if you
Yeah.
let other people get it, I'm not like, oh no, that was the only thing that kept me playing. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just
I don't know.
let it happen. Yeah.
I do not like these packs. I do not like the
Yeah.
practice. I'm glad that most things have kind of moved away from
Anyways, thank you very much, Dark. And I'll go last here. My shout out. What's my shout out here? I didn't have. Oh yeah, my shout out is actually to uh some of the guys in the Discord, Pio and Big Rig, because they're gonna be trying to find some of the comic merch that I want to potentially get this upcoming Comic Con 106, and hopefully I can pay them back by going and getting stuff for them in Comic Con 107, which will be the 50th anniversary of Comic Con. So it'll be probably way more packed and it'll be annoying as fuck to get around even more so than before. I just need to make sure I avoid the FGO crowd there and some of the VTuber crowd. The VTuber crowd wasn't that bad, I think, because a lot of them were just kind of going through, or some of them kind of got piled onto the outside popular booths. But God, that FGO crowd. But hopefully they can survive and manage to get back here in the States without getting hit by a tropical storm. And then my call out is to Horse Girls because fuck having to RNG after you succeed at the RNG. I don't like RNG squared fucking mechanics in games. I don't like it. But yeah, that was my shout out call out. And yeah, thank you all for listening in. We will be back in 2 weeks again with some more reviews. And if you do like what we do, we we stream our podcast live every other Saturday, start at twitch.tv/4player animecast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. So you can check us out here. We have our full podcast on Twitch and YouTube, and we have like highlights and clips and stuff like that, and individual reviews set up on YouTube as well. So you can check us out there. Updates and news on social media, on Twitter at 4PP Animecast, that's our handle. On Blue Sky, 4Play Animecast, and on Facebook as well. So check us out here, check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.